What's up? Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Fun Tuesday morning after a long weekend. Long weekends for traders are usually really hard. Don't you guys agree? I think I miss you guys too much. I don't know. Type in if you do too. Yeah, I think I just miss trading in general, just talking about trades and how everyone's doing and all of that. I think it's just a fun, I mean, not so fun kind of event. But anyway, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Agnes. Good morning, Jose. I see Sam, Kevin Stone, Eric Grego. Good morning, Jay Linder. Good morning, guys. Oh my goodness, Tuesday. Today, unfortunately, I hate days that start with, I don't know which way we could go. I genuinely do not like those days. But today seems like one of those days, which again, in my fate, happen to be a lot more, which every time I'm on the bike, I seem to inherit those days. I do absolutely love days that are absolutely decisive and we could just get excited about a move one way or the other. But today doesn't seem like one of those days. We are coming to a close end though. So we will figure out which way we go, up or down for the rest of the day. If you had to ask me, I would want it to go down, but that's just me being biased. So, oh well, we'll come up with something. All right. Okay, so let's look at the cues. The cues were, the futures were trading yesterday for a tiny bit of time. And although the QQQ may look different, the futures is a tad bit extended. So, on QQQ, you may not see a candle end as completely green because it doesn't register complete overnight action. But this, my friends, is a tad little bit extended, and we're coming into a decent level of resistance right over here. Again, we have a long way to go. That's a solid, 150 points up there. So I don't know if today is going to be one of those, okay, nothing burger kind of day, slow shot, or if today is going to be a pullback kind of day. On the 4 hours, this is a much more decisive pennant pattern on the 4 hours. And we could really, it doesn't really have to be bearish. It could just be bullish, and it's okay if it is. On a weekly, when I was looking at the QQQ, and undoubtedly, a lot of other tickers, guys, are really looking like they want to break out. So don't be surprised if we have a bullish momentum. The market likes to surprise people. And, the other day we were talking about this on Friday, I think, where it's like, well, who is punished the most if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do? It's the bears, and so the market likes to surprise people. And I think the bears will really be surprised if we just continue higher. So let's look at the QQQ real quick, and I will show you guys something. So on the weekly level, how interesting would it be if we did something like this? Again, on the cues on a weekly level, we are at the 20 EMA. But hear me out, guys. How interesting would it be if we did something like this? Broke out a tiny little bit higher, trapped everybody, and then went lower. Or continued higher, doesn't matter. But in this scenario, up or down, whichever way we go, who do you think is going to get punished the most? If you just look at this, I think your eye will catch more red than green, because that's the reality. There have been more bearish prospects than bullish. And so realistically, honestly, I think a bullish bias could also work out same as bear bias. So it, could get rejected over here, and we could roll down just like this guy right here, where it looked like we were making, higher lows, but then we just rolled back down. Same exact thing. Here you go. Or we could just continue higher, trap some bears and bulls, and then come back down. So either possibility could really work out. Let's look at some longer term SMAs. So 50, 100, and 200. So here we go. Here we have something. So that kind of just plays out with the trap scenario, right? Like we could just hit this guy right here and then roll over, or not. I mean, we don't have to do either one of those. We can just use this as resistance and roll over. This is a strong, strong resistance right over here. So I wouldn't be surprised if today turned out to be a little bit of a pullback day. Although I will tell you guys, if we take out this candle, here, can you hear me again? I am so sorry. I didn't realize I went mute. I'm so sorry. Yay. Okay. I'm back. Okay, cool. Awesome. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I didn't mute anything. As you can see, I was talking. Anyway, so where I was going with this is definitely a strong level of resistance right over here. And so if we roll over today, I think it could make sense. Although I do not want to see us taking out this candle in the near future, and absolutely not these two hammers. The day we do, I think we are going to go lower, and it's going to not be one of those, a slow roll down, like one of these scenarios. No, it is going to be a drastic roll down. So in that scenario, I think I want to see these levels hold for the bulls at least, right? So yeah. Let's go look at the cues on the hourly chart. Just because we are at some resistance on a weekly chart, I don't want to really just go right in and jump in bullish. Okay, I do want to see certain levels hold and then go higher. So I do want to see us take out the 100 SMA. I think it's the 100, or was it the 200? Hold on. It was a 200 SMA on the weekly. So I do want to see us hold that. And I don't think over a course of a day that's possible, but we will see what happens. We'll see where we go with this. On the hourly, if I was just looking for a simple day trade, I'm just going to put two lines over here and watch us hold this. So basically this high wave guy right here is our telltale sign. So if we don't hold this bottom and go falling, I think that's going to give us a really, really cool bear day. If we hold this guy and go higher, I think it's not going to be as exciting of a bull day because we are extended. So, the thrush, the momentum might be a little bit reduced. However, if we are gifted with a bear day, I just want you guys to imagine, certain trend lines breaking, certain bulls being trapped, certain profits being taken. So that's going to be interesting for sure. So yeah, just like that, I want to see us hold this high wave, or we could just bounce around in this channel. I think the likelihood of that are very little. I think some profit taking may happen today. So a bearish bias here today could be fun on the hourly. Let's go over to SPY and throw in some fun tickers. I know Goldman Sachs is going to be on everybody's list, but they do have a conference call going on at 9:30. So definitely watch out, guys. Do not jump right in onto GS. GS is a pretty cool gap up today. Gap down today. So just watch out, be careful when trading it. All right, cool. This is the hourly on SPY. Same exact scenario, guys. There's not much difference in here. This high wave goes. I think we have a pretty fun run down to at least 394 on the hourly, if not more. This high wave gets taken out. I think we have a pretty decent way up. So let's go look at the SPY on the daily and the weekly. You guys can, I don't know if you guys can feel it, but I feel the extended part of this scenario, right? Like I feel like we're extended to the bull side. We need a pullback, at least for the initial morning trading hours. That's just what I expect it to do. So I feel like this is extended. I do want it to pull back a little bit, at least for our morning hours. I think it'll be a fun day trading day if it does give us a pullback. So that's what I'm looking at on the weekly. Do we have any moving averages on the way? Let's see. So on a SPY, we do not have anything. I mean, I think we have quite a bit to go at 403. I think this is where Jeremy said he was going to go heavy in with puts. And I'm not sure if he wanted to look at the moving averages and that's why he was going heavy in with puts or anything else. However, even on SPY, how much of a trappity trap do you think it would be if we take these levels out? Go a tiny bit higher, convince everybody we're breaking out, and then take these levels out. I think that would be really, really evil of the markets to do. So let's keep an eye on this guy as well. SPY is looking a little bit different than the Qs. If I were to go bullish, if today turned out to be a bullish day, I think SPY would be one of those bullish candidates versus Qs. I like SPY a little bit better than the Qs, in my opinion. So Ron says, good morning, everybody. And Ron, hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, let's go look at Meta before we go look at anything else. This guy is my favorite ticker so far. It's just turning out to be a wonderful setup. I really loved Meta bullish, and I think I posted that in Slack a while ago when this pennant pattern was breaking out. The only unfortunate thing about this was I was waiting for a pullback and a touchdown of this pennant pattern, and that never happened. So didn't get filled, didn't get my way in, but still looking phenomenal, guys. This is a pretty extreme bullish breakout. I wouldn't really want to go bullish now. I think we missed our chance when this breakout happened. I think on this day, had we just set up a swing trade with a target up here, I think that could be really interesting. But yeah, it's still extremely bullish. A pullback on this, I was watching this earlier for a pullback. A pullback on this guy could be really interesting because a lot of bulls on a daily level are going to want to take some profits. Now, you know, I'm a very rebellious trader, as many of you know me as, and I'm always looking for that trend line break versus continuation. So in that scenario, I think this trend line break could be really interesting, but we're still a long way out from it. So I don't know if we're going to get our chance to go day trade this thing, but it's really looking interesting. So buy the dips on a pullback on Meta. It's looking good. I'll keep an eye on it. Not very interesting for a day trade so far, so we'll just move it down a little bit. Let's look at AAPL. Okay, Apple on a daily, a lot of these things are a retest gap. I mean, majority of them are. We do have some really cool, interesting gap and goes though. For example, Workday. I was looking at that earlier and that looked like a fun gap and go. We'll check it out in a bit, but AAPL, I mean, you know, if you had to ask me, nothing to really see here. We do have this double bottom, inverse head and shoulders type scenario. If you guys can't see it, let's pull up a line chart. There we go. Double bottom, a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders scenario. You may not be able to see the inverse head and shoulders very clearly, but if we go to a shorter time frame, then you probably can. Here we go. No, I think it would be majority of this. So if I had to draw it out, this guy right here looks like an inverse head and shoulders, somewhat. Not a perfect one, but somewhat. And so I wouldn't really be against it breaking out. It would be really damaging if AAPL took these levels out. I don't think that would work in anyone's favor. So I think just with that in mind, let's keep this guy close and let's watch it and see what happens over here. I am going to set an alert at these levels. Let's do 131.50. And we'll say crossing down. We'll set up an alert there and see which way it goes. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. Too many things in my way. Awesome. Okay, let's look at AMD and AMD. I find it, I think Dan Jansen one time said AM Dizzle, and I find it really hard to just think of it as AMD anymore. So let's look at AMD. Extended, 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 in my opinion. Still very extended. Although the trend is bullish, it's extended in the bullish direction. If we look at the 4-hour RSI, there is some divergence, not exactly super visible, but it's there. So with that in mind, I think everything needs a little pullback. I would be up for a little bit of a pullback. If we were to put fibs on AMD, I think certain levels should hold today. And if they don't, then AMD could be a fun day trade to the bear side. For my swing traders, this high wave candle is definitely interesting. If we get a pullback and a breakout of this high wave candle to the bull side, could be interesting, or a breakdown of this high wave candle could definitely be interesting as well. But we're not talking swing trades, we're talking day trades right now. So let's look at the daily candle right over here, and I'm putting the fibs like I'm expecting a bear move, right? So AMD should definitely hold certain levels. So this usually is like the 40% retracement, 38.382 retracement. So if it doesn't hold that, or if it doesn't hold a 50% retracement, I think I would look for some more weakness in AMD. So let's see what this ticker does. Currently, pre-market, it doesn't really look like there's any weakness. Really, honestly, it doesn't really look like there's any weakness at all. So we shall see. I don't know. We'll just keep an eye on it. We could just have a tiny pullback and then a continuation, but we will see. NVIDIA. Let's look at NVIDIA. This guy is approaching, it's looking interesting because it's approaching my trend line right over here. I'm so mad at NVIDIA. I got stopped out of my puts on NVIDIA. I got in on, I think this day, I'm not sure. One of these days where I bought puts and I got stopped out last week. But it is approaching that retest line. So I'm not going to mess with this guy just yet because it is looking extremely strong on a weekly level. I mean, weekly, if you think about it, this candle right here, there was no selling last week whatsoever. It is a complete shaved top candle. Well, a little bit of wick, but shaved top candle, precisely. And it's looking strong, you guys. So it's coming into resistance. We'll see how it behaves over here. But a tiny pullback is due. I mean, I wouldn't be annoyed with a little bit of a pullback and then some continuation. That could be cool. Or a little bit of a pullback and not a continuation. That would be very cool. That's where the money is, but we'll see. Let's see which way it wants to go. I see some comments real quick. Let's go. Jenny, good morning. Hector, buenos dias. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Indian and we believe in reincarnation. And I'm 200% sure in my previous birth, I was Hispanic for sure. For sure. I have a profound love for your language and your food. And I mean, really, it's just music. Oh, just awesome. All right, Roblox. Let's look at Roblox. This is a ticker. It's so dead. I've stopped looking at it completely. I mean, just other than the morning rooms, I don't really look at it for swing trades either. It is kind of looking like it did have a pullback. It is kind of looking cute right now on the daily. I'm not a very good Roblox trader, if that makes sense. Just don't look at it enough. So I don't know how it trades. We'll move on from this. I don't want to spend too much time over here. I'll move it down. If anybody wants to discuss it, I would more than happily go over it. Tezos, my friends, Tezos, this is awesome. I love this ticker so much. It's looking like it's breaking out currently with this gap. Okay, now can we see this inverse head and shoulders happening on the hourly? Yes, we can. Can we see this larger move happening on the hourly? We see this level holding 115 held just where it was supposed to. Dan the other day put on a trade and wisely, extremely wisely, had a stop where he made, I think, 0.2 Rs or whatever at 116. And I remember being in that trade, and I was bearish too. I remember being in that trade thinking, oh, we're definitely going to break down and come down and make a new low. But nope, we held at a very crucial level where we should have held. So I don't want to get everybody super rallied up, but I mean, previous resistance becomes new support, and this really is undeniable. My target on this, guys, is 130. Like, this is where I think it's headed to. 130. If today turns into a bullish day and we do go higher and we don't retrace too deep, I think I'm looking to buy the dip on Tesla a lot more than I want to go short. So I do have a bullish bias towards Tesla. And for the past couple of weeks, I mean, I've been telling everybody here, even in the afternoon rooms, I'm like, don't get caught sleeping on this guy. When it takes off, it really will. And I mean, this drop was because Elon Musk was taking over Twitter or whatever, and he was going to be distracted. I don't think that's a good enough reason. I do know there's some other issues with Tesla in general. He's been reducing prices. Why is he doing that? But you could also look at it from a different perspective. Well, if he's reducing prices, maybe we'll have more sales. So there's two sides to every scenario. I did over the weekend buy a Tesla Model X, the one with the Falcon doors. Not over the weekend, but last weekend. But yeah, so we did get that car and got rid of my Y. That was interesting. I really like everything about that Tesla. And Jose says he was selling stock too. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So I'm really looking for bullish moves up on Tesla. This candle gap down and it didn't really gap and go. That tells me something. There is more bullish momentum here. Let's look at it on a weekly level. Yeah, we've got a long way to go. And if anybody wants to recognize this pattern and tell me what it is, I would be really, really happy. That would be cool. So definitely keep an eye out for Tesla over here. This is a Morningstar reversal. Not a perfect one, but it's coming along. Yes, win, got it right. That's awesome. Yes, yeah, it's coming along. So 130 definitely is in play for Tesla. I think super soonish. So let's see where that goes. Roku. This just makes me laugh because, well, not laugh, smile. Smile is the word that I was looking for, but it's just been one of those, this is a perfect scenario of what goes down comes back really, really quickly in Tony's playbook. So this is, what Tony looks for, just sudden drop and it bounces back really quickly. This is a pretty decent recovery. It could go with the markets. As far as a day trade's concerned, I'm not really interested in Roku. I think it deserves a pullback and then continuation. Roku's been a beat down ticker. I think I'm more interested in shorting this guy than going long. However, I think it has been extended to the short side also. This is why accumulation happens, guys, because traders are just bored. I mean, especially day traders. We don't approach it with the same amount of enthusiasm as we did up here, or even when Roku was at 140, this gap down was like spectacular for a day trader. So we don't approach it with the same amount of enthusiasm. We don't go bullish, we don't go bearish, we don't move the ticker enough. And that's how accumulation happens. We just go up and down in a channel. So I think that's what it's doing currently. We just watch it, leave it alone. Don't really mess with it too much unless a good setup happens on day trading aspect. Googster. This guy, friends, is this is a 10 EMA setup on the daily. Undeniable double bottom, right? Undeniable, maybe a retest. I don't know. I am looking for bullish momentum. Even if this turns into a bear flag, I think we still have a long way to go. So this is how bear flags usually form, right? So I think we still, if we were buying a dip, we still have some larger targets. This is counter trend trading though, but it's holding levels that it should. I like the move up currently above this hammer. I will be looking for, just like Tesla, I would be looking for bull moves on Googster unless we take out this guy. then it's a different story for day trades. So let's keep an eye on this. We'll move it up to Tesla. Roku will move it down. And Q is going up. Great. When things glide up before 9:30, I think that's where the excitement is, because then we see a sure shot pullback. So for majority of these retest gaps, the higher the gap up, the deeper the pullback. So that's what I'm looking for, that gap up. So anyway, Netflix is extremely bullish. Leave it alone. If you're in anything bearish on Netflix, do not just leave it alone. It is approaching earnings though. And Netflix, my friends, has the biggest surprise factor each earnings. Don't believe me? Go stock earnings. Each earnings, it really truly surprises traders. So just keep that in mind. You know, I'm not saying, oh, we're going to go down. It has gone up on certain earnings levels, but this is not a ticker one must mess with towards earnings. So just try to stay away from it as much as you can. Boeing still has, I mean, it's not going anywhere, but still has this undeniable double bottom. I will not mess with Boeing in any bear form, shape, or size. So, but it does need a pullback. I mean, if you follow my this is just, it needs a pullback and then goes higher. Sure, I could see that happen. Did you guys hear about the plane crash in Nepal that happened? I don't know. It was all over Twitter. I saw something, and my brother's having a baby, and I called up my parents and said, do not look up a list of names and do not name my brother's child after. It's just unfortunate. But if you guys don't know, that's how I was named. All right, moving on to, I don't know why I have Nike, but I do want to look at Goldman Sachs. It's just the irony of my life. All right, so they, earlier when I was looking at it, it was down. Well, it was, hold on. No, it was at 362 for sure. Yeah, daily. Okay, so it was down here. And this is, if you must count with me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row of bullish momentum. On bad earnings, I think investment banking, that's where they kind of sort of just closed up. Bad earnings, this is a good level of support. And we have been beat down a lot, but a lot of these bulls would be surprised. So I think this is my favorite ticker to go short on if the markets take a turn. This is going to be interesting. 9:30, they do have a conference call. So do not mess with this guy until 9:30. Then we will come back and see which way it goes. I don't expect it to just go boop down to 338, but very plausible. There is some sort of support down here. We don't hold this. I think that's going to be troublesome for Goldman Sachs. We shall see. Fi says you were named after a plane crash. Yep. My parents literally went through the day I was born, there was a plane crash, and went through the newspaper and picked out one person that didn't have a last name. So Maloney was, I don't know how they were able to fly, but could have been an old Italian man or a baby. I don't know. But yeah, that's how I was named. So much for that. All right, cool. Satya, Microsoft is definitely looking interesting. Also, just like everything else, it's extended to the bullish side. It is earnings season, you guys. So I don't know which way it's going to surprise me. I think for our bear scenario, it would be best if we just continued higher and then earnings kind of brought us back down to reality. But the odds of that, I don't know. I don't know how high they are. Today just happens to be a more of a wait and watch kind of day. So wait for those perfect setups. Do not jump into setups that just because you want to trade. Just be cautious with them, with some of these tickers. I do want to look at Amazon real quick, and also Workday. WDA looked interesting. Another gap and go, which I think, this is a head and shoulders. It's there on a weekly. Well, not so much on a weekly, but it's they're definitely there on the daily. So could have been a bull flag or a head and shoulders. Currently, it's looking more like a head and shoulders. I do like this gap and go, at least down to here. I think it could be interesting for a day trade. So let's see where we end up with this. All right, YouTube land. Unfortunately, it's time for me to sign off. I will see you guys next Tuesday. Hit us with a like and subscribe to our channel if you're already not subscribed. Good luck.